2, 1, go.
Episode 237, let's go. Meat Boys, UFC 322 from the Big Apple. Finally, we have a sick card this weekend. A pay-per-view we've all been looking forward to. Two title fights. Absolute banger start to finish. It was honestly kind of difficult to settle on six to break down, Meat Boy. But real quick, let's just touch on UFC event from last week. We both went 2-3. If you're looking for this week's locks, head straight to the timestamps. But we both went 2-3. What do you have to say from last week? Anything at all? I mean, Randy Brown can't check a leg kick, and our meatlock was unsuccessful. Did anything jump out to you from UFC event last week?
No, Randy Brown, yeah, not much to say on that one. That was unfortunate what happened. Maybe FBI should look into that early stoppage. That was a little sus. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, the UFC fight week last week was, a dusty one, but man, this weekend is a banger.
Yeah, can we just swap us right through then? Because I don't want to belabor anything. CLD license got a big W. We both called that one. Let's move forward on that one, though. You ready to swap us through to MSG?
Let's go.
Move us through. It's the Meatlock. You see the text. Is Meat Lakachev minus 290 taking on Jack Della Magdalena. And Della Magdalena, first of all, is plus 215. Islam is minus 290. Typology's kind of split, though. I was a little bit surprised to see how much love Jack Della is getting. It's almost 50-50, 43% rolling with Jack Della, 57 going with Islam. We like Islam as a meatlock in this one, and the odds obviously reflect the fact that he's a decent favorite, but we've also seen Islam minus 400, minus 500, so it's a testament to how the odds makers view Jack Della as somewhat of a threat in this one. We like Islam though, and it's the meatlock for a reason, keeping it simple to get us back on track after the Randy Brown debacle of last week. So, what are your thoughts on this meatlock? How do you think he gets this one done over Jack Della? And it's gonna be early or often?
I think it will be early and often. No, I'm just kidding. I think it could be a first round submission or it could be a decision. Grind 5 rounds of just breaking Jack, and I don't know how Jack wins. I mean, Islam will probably beat him standing up. Will probably beat him on the ground. Will probably beat him anywhere, which way and ever. Islam is an absolute animal, and I mean, for the odd, this is the juiciest odds we will ever see Islam. Is this weekend, and we'll never see them this low, in my opinion. It's only going to be higher from here.
Yeah, 100%. And I think the best point, the best case that we can make for why we think Islam gets this one done over Jack Della is just if you look at who Jack Della has fought, right? He fought against Kevin Holland, Randy Brown, Danny Roberts, Gilbert Burns. I mean, a lot of guys that Kevin Holland, a lot of dudes that were going out there to stand and bang. And the only times we've really seen Jack Della struggle was when he fought against Basil Hafez and got taken down like 15 times, controlled for like most of the fight. And I know many people believe that Basil should have won that fight. So if that's the only time we've seen Jack Della against someone who's trying to wrestle and grapple first, it's not a good look when you're taking on Islam, who's the best at that style of fight, right? And I think some might, come back with the point, well, look what Jack Della just did to Bilal when he took the belt from him. I think that would be fair if Bilal tried to wrestle it all throughout the first 15 minutes, right? I mean, there's no world where Islam is going to come into this fight trying to prove a point on the feet and ends up boxing with Jack Della for 15 minutes and then trying to work in some takedowns. Like that's just not Islam. I don't think is wired in the same way that Bilal Muhammad was in that fight where he had all this confidence knocking out Sean Brady. Now suddenly, he's Floyd Mayweather with the hands or whatever he was saying and decided to abandon the entire bread and butter that basically got him to that belt opportunity in the first place. So Islam is a different breed. Like you said, I feel like it's an early takedown, and from there, it's just going to be a brutalization, right? And whether he finishes him with a submission, like you said, or a TKO, I mean, I just don't see a world where Jack Della is going to be getting up from these Islam takedowns. So is that kind of how you're seeing it the same way? And for those who might cope in the opposite direction, do you feel like there is even a one-to-one comparison saying that Islam is going to be stepping in there looking like Bilal Muhammad?
It, man, if he looks like Bilal Muhammad, then the FBI needs to reach out and get us a refund because there's no chance that Islam doesn't grapple in this bout. I mean, this is such a lock where I mean, I don't know how Jack could even. come close of comparing. I mean, he fought Bilal Muhammad. Bilal Muhammad is a great grappler, but like you said, he didn't grapple once. A little sus in my opinion. We were kind of confused. We even had Bilal ragdolling him, and then it turned into a boxing match, and it was like, what are we watching right now? But I think Islam's boxing's better than Bilal, so like I think Islam could absolutely hang with Jack in this, and it would not surprise me if he beats him on the feet, beats him on the ground, wherever he wants. But you best believe that he will take him to the ground and smother him and put him in a pretzel, Wetzel pretzel, auntie style, and get the job done.
Yeah, 100%. And unlike Bilal, who, when he ate a heavy shot from Jack Della, wanted to bite down on his mouthpiece and get it back on the feet, if Islam eats one heavy shot, you know he's shooting right away. Like, Islam is not a dude who's going to mess around if there is a danger. And I think the only danger for a spoiled meatlock is if somehow Jack Della sleeps him early in the first round, and similar to how Adriano Martins did way back in the day, puts Islam lights out early. I think that's literally the only chance for Jack Dell in this one. So it's a meatlock for a reason. We're kind of going heavy hammer on this one, throwing down an easy 870 to net 300, but it's a high confidence meatlock. Like you said, Islam odds likely aren't going to be this short in the future. So we're going to capitalize, get us back on track, and barring any, Isaac Dulgarian, even Bilal Muhammad in that fight against Jack Della Zuckery, gotta imagine this should be a easy light work meatlock. So I'm gonna go Islam officially. I'm gonna go third round finish. I think Jack Della survives a couple rounds, eats a lot of shots, but ultimately I'm gonna go Kimura third round, Islam for the meatlock. How do you think Islam gets this one done? First round?
It's either first round's finish or like a submission. If he knocks him out, that would be just so sick. But I think it'll be a submission if anything. But I could definitely see a decision, a grind it out, a grimy one, and take it to the very end.
Yeah, 100%. Let us know in the comments if you are in agreement with this meatlock, or if we're just a bunch of bellends and Jack Della's going to get this one done for the Ferns. We don't see it, however. So, Swabos New Meat Boy, this one is a very interesting one. We started with the meatlock. We'll backtrack a little bit now. It's, in my opinion, a make or break fight for Bo Nickel in this one, as he takes on the black belt hunter, Rodolfo Vieira. And the odds makers are still giving Bo Nickel the benefit of the doubt, right? He's a minus 235 favorite. Plus 180 is Rodolfo. And I say giving him the benefit of the doubt because last time we saw Bo Nickel, the odds looked basically the exact same. It was against RDR, and RDR made Bo Nickel look like an amateur essentially. And I mean, at the time, we're saying, RDR could be this legit threat. He then goes on to eke out a victory over Robert Whitaker, but now he just got absolutely light work smoked by Brendan Allen, who we obviously have a lot of respect for. But it's like, is Brendan Allen in the title challenge? Like, it's difficult to evaluate how good or how bad of a loss the RDR performance was against Bo Nichols. So this is a good rebound opportunity versus Rodolfo Vieira, who is one of those middle of the pack guys, but he can beat a lot of dudes in this division, and recently has been beating a lot of dudes, and as a dog a couple times. So in this one, are you taking Rodolfo Vieira, who has been alternating wins and losses, but has won 3 of his last 4, or is Bo Nickel against the black belt hunter? Is this just the opponent that he needs to rediscover that hype train?
Yeah, Bone Nickel is a unique one because just the last few times, just the aura's been off. Just I just don't know. And Black Belt Hunter is no joke. He's had a lot of experience. Some wins, some losses, some good wins, some bad losses. But I could really see this going either way. I don't know. This will be very interesting to see. Is Bo gonna try to grapple the Black Belt Hunter? Like this guy hunts for black belt jujitsu guys. Like this guy takes them out. So I don't think Bo Nichols is a black belt in jujitsu. So like it'll be very interesting if it hits the mat. I hope it does. I want to see it. But I think this is gonna be a striking fight, and they're trying to see, hey Bo, are you ready to striking bang? Because if Bo can get this one done, on the feet, this will be very good for him. And this is a winnable fight for him on the feet. He can knock out Rodolfo. Rodolfo's striking, everybody knows it's horrendous. It's some of the worst out there. Basically, anyone he tries to strike, unless they're a worse striker, which Bo might well be, we shall see. It doesn't go well unless it hits the ground. Then he does pretty well. So I gotta take Bo on this, but I'm really not that confident, to be honest. This is one of those that's like, okay, Bo, are you here to stay? Or are you going to, BKFC? BKFC.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, right? Because you touched on the awfulness of Rodolfo Vieira's stand-up game, but it has slightly improved, right? I mean, 3 years ago, if you remember, remember Rodolfo Vieira would be stepping in the cage, like looking like he's gonna have a panic attack and not being able to even throw a strike. He's like so tense, right? The last few fights, I feel like he's outgrown that a little bit. I'm not going out and saying he's some elite striker by any measure, but he's definitely improved. And are those improvements better than where Bo Nickel is? I mean, I'm unconvinced by Bo Nickel's stand up. I feel like he hasn't really offered us much in that department to celebrate. And if you look at Rodolfo Vieira's most recent fight, it was against Tresean Gore, right? Tresean Gore, decent wrestler. Vieira pieced him up though, right? He had 96 strikes to Tresean Gore's 50, and Vieira was 1 for 14 on takedown attempts. So it's not like Rodolfo Vieira is going out there and just like ragdolling these dudes. And in a fight where his ragdolling was unsuccessful and he was forced to stand and bang, he definitely outstruck Tresean Gore. So I guess my question to you, Meat Boy, will be who has better striking, Bo Nickel or Tresean Gore? And is Tresean Gore that elite with his takedown defense, and Bo Nickel isn't going to be able to take down Rodolfo Vieira just like Tresean Gore couldn't?
No, Trishan Gore is, he's probably in BKFC at this point because Rodolfo is not like this elite anti-grappler dude that can just stuff everyone's takedowns. I mean, Trishan Gore probably he can do that, but like, come on, this is Bo Nickel. This is arguably one of the best American wrestlers out there. Unless, you know, the cage and the fight and the atmosphere, got, snakes in his boots and he just freezes up and doesn't try to grapple, maybe, but I don't know. I just don't see. I think Bo is going to stick with his bread and butter like he should, try and grapple, mix it up, but I don't know. I could see Rodolfo honestly, I can see Rodolfo let him to the ground and try to submit him, but even then, I don't. It'll be interesting. I don't know where this fight will go. I think it stays on the feet though, and I think this is Dana White is hoping for a highlight knockout for Bo Nickel to pump up the cog in the machine to keep the money printing because Bo is a superstar potentially, but he needs to get this one done. If he doesn't get this one done, well then he just becomes like a Chase Hooper. To be unfortunately, like that's the reality of it right now.
Yeah, I do buy that. I think that the matchmaking is intentional. I think that they're giving him an opportunity to definitely go out there and potentially knock someone out, but I just struggle to see a world where Bo Nickel knocks anyone out. And my last observation will be Rodolfo Vieira's takedown defense is 100%. So no one's ever taken him down. Obviously, he hasn't faced, as dominant of a wrestler as Bo Nickel, and of course, most guys aren't trying to welcome a ground match versus Rodolfo Vieira, but do you worry at all that if this fight does start on the feet, if Rodolfo Vieira is better than Bo Nickel on the feet, is Bo Nickel is he zucked? Like, do you see a world where Bo Nickel will even have this grappling option, given the fact that Rodolfo Vieira has 100% takedown defense?
Yeah, I mean, 100% takedown defense is a pretty sweet stat, but I think both should be able to get it done.
Either way.
But I don't know, like if he, but I don't even know if Bo will want to because he's worried about getting, submitted. Like he didn't take down Paul Craig, which like Paul Craig I think his 0% takedown defense, like it's not like this like, oh, Paul Craig never gets taken down. It's like he gets taken down like literally every fight,
True.
So I don't know. It'll be very interesting to see how this fight plays out, but I think it's gonna stay on the feet and they're really hoping that he gets this KO somehow. I don't know how he's gonna get it, but or at least maybe a decision, stand up fight brawl for the whole, whatever many rounds it is, 3 rounds. But yeah, I think Bo he should get this done, but it wouldn't surprise me if the black belt hunter submits him.
Yeah, it's great points, and I think to your earlier point, Bo Nickel is able to do that fight that style of fight against Paul Craig, right? And who's the only person who has worse stand-up game than Rodolfo Vieira? It's Paul Craig. So it's like this is just the next level up of awful strikers but dangerous ground threats. We'll see if Bo Nickel can get through it. I'm super torn on this with me, boy, but ultimately how I see this fight is I think it's going to go the distance. And because it goes the distance, Bo Nickel's going to find a way to eke out likely a split decision. But I don't know. I struggle to see a world where either guy gets a finish. I do worry though for Bo Nickel that he might be worse on the feet than Rodolfo Vieira. And I don't know. I'm gonna go Bo Nickel by split, just given all the context. The UFC wants this to be a thing, but I could see him losing this fight. So, are you taking Bo by finish, or does this go the distance?
If he goes the distance, it's not gonna look good for Bo, in my opinion, because yeah, Rodolfo, I don't know. It'll be in, I think Bo has to win by knockout because there's no way he submits the black belt halter. If he does, that's crazy. Um, yeah, I don't know. It'll be very interesting to see how that goes. I just don't see it
Well,
though.
you heard it here first. If Bo Nickel wins, he has to win by knockout. So if I'm a viewer, if I'm a listener, that means throw the absolute house on Rodolfo Vieira because Bo Nickel ain't knocking out anyone. But nonetheless, we're both ever so reluctantly, seemingly taking Bo Nickel. Let us know in the comments if you're taking the black belt hunter at a juicy plus 180. But swap us through me, boy. This one is one I'm curious to get your perspective on. It's Benoit Saint-Denis, aka Benoit Saint Denis, BSD movement, a minus 215 favorite taking on Beneil Dariush, Benny Darush, who is plus 164, despite having coming off a beautiful recent win over our boy Renato Moicano. And that was a fight where it was basically a pick 'em. Many people thought Moicano would rebound from his last second title shot opportunity loss versus Islam, but Renato really got dominated by Beneil in that one. And it was good to see because Dariush had gotten finished in two straight first rounds, namely to Oliveira and Arman Sarukian. So for him to rediscover that sauce with a not only a victory but a dominant one against a high level dude in Moicano, to me reminded a lot of people that Beneil Dariush still has a lot of life in the tank, I think, and he's taking on BSD Movement, who himself was on a two-fight L streak, and one of those losses was an absolute beatdown loss to Renato Moicano. Right, Moicano beat the daylights out of BSD. Beneil Dariush then beat the daylights out of Renato Moicano. So you can do some recent MMA math with this one. BSD has won two straight
Mhm.
though, and the last time we saw him was performance of the night, a beautiful finish as a sizable dog in a co-meet event against Mauricio Ruffi, where the fighting nerds hype just evaporated in one single evening. So in this one, BSD again, decent favorite against Beneil Dariush. Are you taking the gritty dog in Dariush, or is BSD movement going to walk right through?
Man, this is a tough one because yeah, both these guys are. I mean, they were both once. These are the guys to do it. To then, wow, these guys are bums. To when now it's like they're both decent, but they ain't the guys to do it. So this is such a great matchup in my opinion because this is a 50-50. It's true pick 'em. It's whoever shows, and I think I gotta go with Benoit. Although he may look 40, he's actually in his 20s, I believe. And so I gotta go with the younger guy. While Benoit, he's kind of there. He's got the grays going. He's a little older, and I don't know. I just kind of I mean, sorry, not Benoit. Uh,
Beneil.
Benil, sorry, yeah, thank you. Gee, like the same, it's like the same name.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so I gotta go with Benoit on this one. I think Benny is just a little older. The Grays, he's stressing a lot, and he might not just be in it like uh Benoit is. And Benoit, he has so much more potential. He's so young. I don't get how he's that young because he looks like he's so much older. But yeah, I think Benoit is going to be stronger. The grappling is where it's going to be interesting. I don't know. He should be stronger on the ground, but I don't know. Grappling's weird where it doesn't always mean strength. So I think striking Benny might have him, but Benoit might have the strength and durability and youthness. I'm not too sure, but that one's going to be a very interesting one to see how it plays out if it hits the mat.
Yeah, it's good points, right? Because obviously Beneil Dariush is older, 36, to Benoit Saint-Denis, who's 29. The youth clearly in BSD's favor. The strength, though, is always interesting, right? It's always difficult to evaluate. I feel like we say the same thing with every Dariush fight. Is like, even though is he going to be stronger than his opponent? Because he rarely looks like he would be the most physically imposing guy, especially in the face-offs of whoever he's fighting against. But 9 out of 10 times he's like ragdolling these dudes that look objectively bigger than him. So it's like how he's got that sneaky, crazy dad strength for sure for Darius. So My one question for you, the Meat Boy, will be this though. If you look up and down through BSD's wins, right? Here's some of the guys he's taken out, right? He took out the worst Bonfim brother. He took out Tigo Moises, mid. Took out Matt Frivola, gets slept a lot. Took out Kyle Propeziak, and then most recently, and probably most impressively, he takes out Rufy, right? If you go through Beneil Dariush's wins, I mean, we got Gamrot in there, we got Moicano in there, Drakkar Close, who's basically a top 15 guy at this point. He's got a lot of beautiful victories that I don't know if BSD would have picked up, and their only common opponent is Hanato Moicano, and he didn't pick up that victory. So my question for you, it's a little bit of, MMA math, I suppose, thinking outside the box, but who would you take in a fight this weekend versus Beneil Dariush and Mauricio Rufy?
Oof, that's a tough one. Um,
You know who you would pick? Dariush versus Rufy. Who are you taking? Be honest.
I mean, I'd probably take Roofy. Uh,
Really?
I think I would. Just I don't
All right,
know.
then
Benny getting knocked out by Armin, which Armin's never knocked out one person in his life. Charles Oliver, no shame in that. Um,
Gamrot.
yeah, gamer.
Was it because it was 2022? It's too long ago. I mean, I guess what I'm trying to get at is that I feel like Beneil Dariush would smoke Rufy, and I don't know
Yeah,
if
he
that's
probably
BSD's
he
best.
probably would. I don't know. It's just so hard to say. I mean, I guess with him beating Manu Kano, it's definitely looking good for him. I will say that. Like meaning that there's still some life because like Moicano is low key peaking at 36. Like sure he got smoked by Islam and lost to Benny, but he beat the brakes off Jalen Turner, hype beast. Beat the brakes off Benoit, but I don't know. Maybe Benoit got that lit in his lit fire in his belly. I can tell you this: Benoit definitely ain't gonna submit Benny. That's for dang sure. So he's got to get a knockout, which I don't know. Yeah, I know MMA math isn't a thing, but I see where you're going with this, where it's definitely leaning Benny being the more complete, better fighter. I don't know. I just think Benoit might be that dog, and I just like his age. I like the youth in him, and I like the driver. He's on a nice two-fight win streak, while Benny just got his first dub back when he went on a two-fight skid. First people, no shame in losing to.
You're absolutely right. They both had two fight skids. Beneil Dariush has one win since then. BSD Movement has two wins since his skid, and one of those wins was against Kyle Propolik. So you feed Kyle Propolik to Beneil Dariush, he'll take a free dub there as well. But either way, Meat Boy, Tapology's with you. 67% is rolling with BSD Movement. 33% going with Dariush. I'm taking Dariush in this one. I probably tip my hat a little bit, but I don't know. I like BSD. I think he's very good, but I think Beneil Dariush is elite. I think this dude's top five. I think he's still right there. And with Islam, fleeing is the wrong word, but with Islam going to 55, it's open, or going to 70, it's open season at 55, right? I mean, Beneil Dariush, he already was never going to take out Islam. So this is an opportunity for the last run. And I think that this is a statement victory for Dariush, another hype beast setback for BSD movement. And Dariush gets this one done. I'm not gonna say with relative ease, but I think Dariush picks up a finish in this one. I like him as a dog. I think that BSD movements. I don't know. I'm just not buying it. He's impressed me with the win over Rufy. Sweet, beautiful. But I think Dariush does the exact same thing to Rufy as well. So I'll take Dariush by finish. If you're taking BSD, do you think he goes out there and really sleeps Dariush?
Yeah, I think. Oh man, that's such a tough one because yeah, if anyone's getting slept, it's probably Benoit. He's getting knocked out by Benny, but I don't know. I could see him maybe getting the snuff on him, but I think if he does win, it's got to be his bread and butter submission, which that's probably not happening. So this could be a long, grindy 50-50 split decision winner. This is going to be a tough one. But yeah, I got to go with the youth, and I'm praying for a decision. Praying.
So officially, you're going BSD movement by duty free studying.
Duty free study split.
Let us know in the comments if you agree or if you like the Benil Dariush Dink Dog lock like your boy does. But swap us through, me boy. This one is also fun. Leon Edwards. Talk about two fight losing streaks. here's another one who he's trying to get back on track, right? It's been nothing but L's for him the last basically 18 months. And the last time we saw him pick up a victory was when he defended his belt against Colby in a dominant fight in 2023. And since then, he lost to Bilal, got smoked, lost to Sean Brady, got absolutely ragdolled, and then finished in the fourth round. And now he's taking on Carlos Prates, who is 22-7 overall, a decent favorite in this one, and coming in off a beautiful performance of the night finish over Jeff Neal in a fight that I know you and I were very bullish on Jeff Neal, and that fight was over in one round. So is this one of those fights where we're going to underestimate Carlos Prates again? I mean, he's the maybe the only surviving nerd at the moment, right? Every other nerd is truly AFK. This is the only one coming in off a recent dub. So are we taking Prates to continue the win streak and keep the flicker of a flame nerd hype alive, or is Leon Edwards going to go through and provide a levels test that Prates hasn't seen?
Yeah. Man, this is such a tough one. These next few are just so dang tough because I mean, it's Leon Scott. I mean, he was one of the most dominant champions, beating the dominant champion Kamaru Usman, and it was just crazy to see. And then all that was taken away in the blink of an eye. So it's like, I don't know who's the best anymore, and MMA math does not make any sense. That is for sure. But this is a very tough man. I think I'm leaning slightly Leon Scott, but I just don't like the skid he is on. It's not looking good for him. It's not ideal. Pratis got a good YOLO potential knockout. I don't know. I do like that Leon is a dog. I gotta take Leon in this. I think if Leon can mix up his grappling with striking, I just don't see Pratis. Like Pratis lost the fight versus Ian Gary. I think because of all of the grappling, tired him out, and then Ian Gary was able to just kind of pick him apart, and he mixed it up really well. Leon Scott is way better fighter than Ian Gary in my opinion, but maybe Leon Scott's time has come, just like Usman kind of, you know. So I'm gonna lean Leon, but I am not confident, and we could be seeing Leon Scott get a boom headshot to himself.
Yeah, I mean, it could definitely go down for sure. I don't think that you're that crazy for that prediction, no doubt. And I guess one thing that might be different if you're trying to find some rationale for why Leon gets this one done, both of his two recent dominant L's, again, were to Bilal Muhammad and Sean Brady. What did they do in each of those fights? They got ragdolled, right? There's no world where Carlos Prates is going to go in there and try to get some takedowns and work some grappling and do to Leon what both Bilal and Sean did with a lot of success. So we know we're going to be getting a stand-up affair. However, we obviously know how elite Leon is on the feet, but is there a fear perhaps that because this fight is stand-up versus stand-up, Carlos Prates does to him what he just did to Jeff Neal? Or do you see a world where Leon himself, like you made the point of Ian Gary, tries to implement a lot of clinch work and maybe tries to get some takedowns of his own? What's the strategy for Leon?
Yeah, Leon definitely needs to mix in the takedowns, pin his cage, stomp his feet, hit him with the shoulders, do all the above. Because if he doesn't, I think it'll be very 50-50 sketchy to strike and bang with Pratis. Pratis is no joke when it comes to striking. That is very true.
Yeah, he's no joke for sure. He also will have a 4-inch reach advantage. Carlos, he's going out there and just finishing a lot of the dudes he fights. So in this one, it's interesting for me. Tapology, though, is going with Prates 76%, only 24% going with Leon Scott. It's Skid versus Sig. Officially, you're going Leon by decision, or you think he's going to finish Prates?
I'm gonna go with decision Leon, but I don't know that maybe finish, but I lean definitely more on the decision side. That's just a Leon Scott bread and butter right there.
Yeah, I'm torn on this one. I think there's a lot of juicy life, potentially 4 plus 164 Leon. I think for Meat Boy's sake, though, ultimately I'm gonna go Prates. I just worry that Leon might low key be broken. And despite the fact that this is, in my opinion, a better and more opportunistic stylistic matchup for him against Prates, I still think that he's going to come in with a little bit of doubt, and a little bit of doubt will cause a lot of trouble. So I'm going to go Carlos Prates. I think he probably goes out there and knocks out Leon Edwards. And I don't know. If this fight goes the distance, though, then perhaps Leon ekes out a victory. I'm taking Prates by finish. So any last thoughts on this one?
No, this is a fun fight, a wild fight. Throw in the comments who you got and why. And does Leon Scott still got it, or is he about to get boom headshotted himself?
Yeah, let us know. No doubt. Swap us through though, because it's another one that we considered meat locking, but ultimately deferred to the safe Islam meat lock. In this one, it's Sean Brady 18-1, taking on Michael Morales. Mike Mo, who is undefeated, 18-0, all the rage. This is a guy who was a former champ in a different organization pre-UFC, and since joining the promotion is a beautiful 6-0. Two recent performance of the night finishes over Gilbert Burns and Neil Magny, and both of those were in the first round. And while both those dudes have a lot of losses, rarely do you see Neil Magny or Gilbert Burns get finished in the first round. So I think for Mike Mo to get this opportunity, 3 fights from the top against a guy as dominant as Sean Brady isn't surprising, because he's obviously got a lot of talent and a lot of hype, and Sean Brady does the same. And Sean Brady has never looked better than when he too picked up that performance of the night finish over Leon Scott earlier this year. So 18-1 is Sean Brady, 18-0 is Mike Mo. The one blemish for Sean Brady was when he got absolutely slept by peak Bilal Muhammad, and beyond that, it's been dominant victories for him. So do you like Sean Brady as a slight -148 favorite in this one, or at +116? Is Mike Mo going to do to Sean Brady what he's been doing to everyone else?
Yeah, this is a crazy fun fight. Honestly, I think Sean might be a low key kind of a micro lock, but you just never know. Mike Mo, he is the real deal. So far from what we've seen, I'm just genuinely curious to see him go versus a not kind of washed grappler, a guy that's more of a savage, and he is relentless. Like Gilbert Burns, great grappler, but he's not a true wrestler. He's more of a jiu-jitsu guy, you know. So he didn't really get the taste of a, I mean, you know what Sean Brady does. He just ragdolls dudes and makes them look like children. So I got to imagine that he's gonna probably do the same. If he doesn't, I am all aboard the Mike Mo train, and this guy might be future champ if he beats or even knocks out Sean Brady.
Yeah, he's only 26 years old, and he's really looked advanced beyond his youth, because the dude is just going out there. I mean, the fact that he just made such light work of Gilbert Burns, I thought was fascinating. I mean, he had a massive reach advantage and used it simply just to tee off on Gilbert Burns from start to finish. I mean, Gilbert Burns was 1 for 2 on the takedowns in that fight, but again, it was only one round, and the takedowns were about 2 minutes into the fight after he had accumulated a lot of damage. So he was already compromised. My question will be, 6 inches is going to be the reach advantage for Mike Mo in this one against Sean Brady. And Sean Brady, there is a difference in wrestling skills between Brady and Gilbert Burns for sure. But is there any fear that for the first 30, 60, 90 seconds, Mike Mo is just going to land those super heavy shots on Sean Brady, similar to how he did against Gilbert Burns? And will that then impact Sean Brady's wrestling, and he's going to be a fish out of water?
Yeah, we don't want Marco fish out of water. That would not be good because if Mike Mo, hits an absolute meat ripper to the rib or even the leg, like I could see 5'9" mini me, Sean Brady get kind of deterred, I guess you could call it. Um, and we don't want that to happen. We need Sean Brady to be top um confidence and be able to just absolutely relentless grapple after grapple attempt. No matter how many times he may be or may not be getting stuffed, but I don't know the way Sean Brady after he lost to Bilal, it seemed like a new demon was built inside, and he's like, I'm never going away from what I do best. I ragdoll people, and it's like, yes, that's who we need. I want to see more of that guy. So as long as his confidence high, I think that Sean Brady should get this done. But you never know with an undefeated stud like Mike Mo. We shall see, but I can't hop on the bandwagon until I see more.
Yeah, fair points for sure. And Tapology is taking Sean Brady. 68% is rolling with Sean, 32% is going with Mike Mo. And a lot of the Mike Mo backers are taking him to win by KO. So they think that if he does go out there and take out Sean Brady, it probably looks similar to what Mike Mo looked like against Gilbert Burns. The last nugget I'll mention, 89% is Mike Mo's takedown defense. So far he's stifled all those challenges. We'll see if Sean Brady just offers a different level that he hasn't quite seen yet. So I'm with you, me boy. I think it's a micro lock. Let's go Sean Brady in this one. More well-rounded, more tools, and will be better at his best skill than Mike Mo is at his. However, I think that we're going to know a lot within the first 30 or 60 seconds, and I do think there's a world where Sean Brady might get teed off on, and I do worry for him low-key if that's the case. But let's roll with the idea that Sean Brady ragdolls body bags Piper, or if not ragdolls, is uber competitive with him in practice every single day, and Piper and Mike Mo basically the same size. So let's go Sean Brady. I'm gonna go Sean Brady. Does he pick up a finish in this one?
I think Sean Brady does, honestly. I think he picks up a submission first, second round. If he gets to the third, I would be surprised if he gets a finish. It probably goes to decision, a grindy one, a one that just isn't that fun for many people, but Sean loves going to the deep end. So it'll be one that Sean will enjoy and one that Mike will not be enjoying.
Yeah, let's roll with that rationale for sure. Sean Brady gets this one done, whether it's submission or maybe a sneaky TKO on the ground. We simply think that Mike Mo will be deterred in this one and unlikely to deal with what is coming his way. So swap us through, meat boy. Another interesting fight in the co-meat. We already broke down the meat. It was the meat lock. This one is Valentina Shevchenko taking on Weili Zhang, who, much like Islam in the meat event, relinquished her 115 belt, is now heading up to 125, attempting to earn double champ status and be the only woman to do so since Amanda Nunes was able to in bantamweight slash featherweight. So she's taking on the Bullet, who obviously the last time we saw her was as dominant as ever, right? I'm going to be the first one to admit I thought that Manuel Fiorot would get that one done against Valentina Shevchenko, but I was wrong. That fight was basically non-competitive, start to finish, an absolute beatdown, levels test victory for Valentina, and you were all over that one. You weren't surprised. I definitely was, however, and the only time we've seen Valentina lose, once you really scroll through, is Alexa Grasso, right? There's the face crank L in a fight she was dominating, and then obviously the split draw when they fought again, and then the dominant victory she then solidified in that third installment. So Valentina has been doing what she has been doing essentially since the very beginning. Amanda Nunes is basically the only one that's been able to beat her. Weili Zhang, though, is also coming in off an absolute dominant tear where no one has been able to be competitive against her in essentially the last fights. I mean, Tatiana Suarez got the last opportunity and she was undefeated. Everyone was thinking, ooh, Tatiana's the one to maybe get this one done. And that fight was even less competitive than was Shevchenko versus Manuel Fiorot. So, what do you make in this one? Do you think Weili Zhang will be as dominant at 125 as she was at 115? And or do you worry that Bullet is just simply on a different level and even though Zhang went through all those 115 women, Valentina is just a different beast? Who are you taking?
Yeah, this one, I mean, Bull is gonna get it done. Easy, light work. But this one is screaming upset all over it in the Zanger Danger. I mean, I could see her somehow getting it done. I could even see her getting a YOLO, flying knee, meat bomb, knockout, or something wild. But yeah, I don't know. This one, I gotta go with the Bullet. I mean, she's never given me any reason to not pick her. She had the Grasso hiccups, but those were the yips. It happens to the best of us. Um, and I don't know. I don't know how Zhang gets this done because anything Zhang is amazing at, the Bullet kind of just does it better. So it'll be very interesting to see how this plays out. But I gotta stick with the Bullet. I gotta ride with her. Um, I'm cool with anyone winning. I don't really care who wins this one. I'm a big fan of both of them, but I gotta lean on the Bullet. Bullet's bigger, more experience at this division, and the Zhang is gonna be a little one, but a feisty one. And she definitely has a puncher's chance, but I don't know. I'm not buying it until I see it.
Yeah, fair enough. And it's fascinating because Shevchenko's a slight favorite, right? Minus 130 is the Bullet, plus 102 is Weili Zhang. But Tapology's pretty bullish on the Zanger. 65% is rolling with Wei Li, only 35% going with Valentina, and it's basically beige on both sides, so they think a decision is most likely in this contest. Are you a little surprised that Tapology is that overwhelmingly bullish on the Zanger? Because for me, I see that and I'm like, did you guys not just watch that fight between Shevchenko and Fiorot, who is 10 years younger, all the rage, way bigger? I mean, that fight was non-competitive, so suddenly a strawweight's going to come up and dominate Shevchenko. Like I don't know, I'm a little bit perturbed by the Tapology. Are you feeling the same?
Yeah, it's like why is it so close? Do they know something we don't? What is going on? FBI, where are you? So I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know why it should be such a bigger spread. Zhang is so small. She's like 5'1". First, to your point, Manafio is huge. So like, and everyone thought Mandan was gonna beat her, and it was a mop sesh. So they need to put some respect on the Bullet's name, and I think after this they will.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And I think the last thing that is worth discussing is it's easy to see this fight as the old guard versus this younger product in Weili Zhang, but they're basically the same age, right? Shevchenko is only 37, Weili Zhang is 36. So it's not like this is, younger fighter versus older fighter. I'm curious about the odds and I'm curious about the topology because in this one, I'm taking Shevchenko. I faded her last fight. I can't fade her again. I was uber confident that Manofio was going to get that one done, and Shevchenko at least reminded me enough to this idea that she probably won't ever lose, and unless it's Amanda Nunes or I mean Kayla Harrison at 135 or something in some alternate universe, I don't see even Wei Li Zhang being able to get this one done over Shevchenko. But either way, it's probably going to be super competitive, and I guess it won't surprise me if Zhang gets it done because she's just as talented as anyone else this in the UFC. But I'm gonna go Shevchenko. You're going the same?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think Shevchenko, honestly, I can even see her getting a knockout like early and often too. But yeah, I gotta go with Shevchenko. If the Zanger gets this done, holy smokes, mega star if she gets this done.
Yeah, I mean, Rose Namajunas, who was basically an atom weight, slept Wei Li Zhang with a head kick in 68, 78 seconds. So maybe you're onto something with a TKO victory for the Bullet. Either way, we're both taking the Bullet. Let us know if you're part of the 65% Tapology who is taking Wei Li Zhang and you're fading the Bullet and the Meat Boys, or if you are riding with Valentina as a slight favorite in this one. But either way, Meat Boy, UFC 322, episode 237 in the books. Islam comes through for the heavy hammer. Any last thoughts on episode 237?
No, this finally an amazing card. Uh, this card is so stacked. Too many to look at, but these are some of the ones that we are super pumped about that we broke down. So throw in the comments who you want and why. Make sure to smash me subscribe.